Yeah, in this class I am going to explain about Ampere circuit law. So, before learning of this topic, we would like to recall the Gauss law. So, in electrostatics, we have already studied about Gauss law. So, what are the applications of Gauss law? Why we studied the Gauss law in earlier classes? So, see, the Gauss law is useful to calculate the electric field intensity and electric flux densities for very complex problems. Complex problems means how it will be? See, suppose if you have a sphere, yes, if you have a sphere or irregular surface area like this, where you require to calculate the field intensity at any point on the irregular surface area. So, by using Coulomb's law, simple Coulomb's law means F bar by Q bar is equals to, this is also equals to electric field intensity, and which is equals to F bar by Q bar, which is equals to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. So, with the help of this expression, have calculated the electric field intensities for different configurations like point charge, field intensity due to a point charge, and infinite line charge, and infinite sheet of charge, and circular ring, circular disc, etc. Okay, like this. So, those concept will be determined with the help of Coulomb's law. So, as these are the very simple configurations, so for the simple configurations we have calculated the electric field intensity with the help of Coulomb's law, and for complex problems, that means just take a coaxial cable. Okay, so for coaxial cable, the electric field intensity on the cable by using Coulomb's law is not possible. Okay, so that's why I have calculated the electric field intensity for coaxial cable with the help of Gauss law. Okay, like this. With the help of electric field intensity is calculated for the coaxial cable with the help of Gauss law. This is what the complex problems. Okay, so this is in case of electrostatics. Now, in the magnetostatics, one famous law is said, that is Ampere circuit law. So, it is also, see, in the magnetostatics, this Ampere circuit law is useful to calculate the magnetic field intensity. Magnetic field intensities. So, how can you represent the magnetic field intensity? It is represented with letter what? H. Magnetic field intensity is calculated with the help of Ampere circuit law for complex problems. So, now we will see this statement here. What is the statement of Ampere circuit law? The statement, first of all, I will write the statement here, then we try to understand the statement. The line integration of the statement will be like this. The line integral of magnetic field intensity MF5, it is magnetic field intensity around a closed path is exactly equal to the current enclosed by that path. Enclosed by that path. This is the statement of Ampere circuit law. So now, to understand the statement, just take a simple conductor, so which is in straight line, which is like a straight conductor. It is like a straight conductor. Okay. Now what you will do here is just send a I amount of current to the conductor. So you already know that according to the Oersted experiment, whenever a conductor is carrying current, it produces a magnetic field around this conductor like this. That means the magnetic field direction, the direction of magnetic field will be circular here. The magnetic field direction is circular, and it is determined with the help of right hand thumb rule, RTR, right hand thumb rule. According to right hand thumb rule, whenever the thumb shows the direction of current, the curved finger shows the direction of field. Now, what is the statement of Ampere's here? The line integral of magnetic field intensity. Line integral of magnetic field intensity. This is the field, totally field part. So, the integration of this magnetic field intensity. Suppose if you start here and complete the path throughout this circular path and finally you came to this point. So, the integration over magnetic field intensity, which integration it is? Live integration, and it is through the circular path. So that's why you should represent on the integration, you should represent this circle. So this circular integration represents the integration over a circular path. So line integration of magnetic field intensity around a closed path. Here closed path is integrated as a mathematically with a circular symbol, and it is exactly equals to what? Equal to the current enclosed by that path. That means, so what is the amount of current which is enclosed by this path, Amperian path? It is I. So this current is called as enclosing current or enclosed current. So I enclosed. So satisfied the statement here? Now, so what should we do to correct this mathematical expression? We should write the differential vector length with the dot product. Okay. So h bar dot dl bar is equals to I enclosed. So now once again I am repeating here, the line integral of magnetic field intensity. Line integration is here, magnetic field intensity is here, which is exactly equal to the current enclosed by that path. So this is the path which is enclosed by this conductor. So the amount of current is flowing through this conductor is I. So that's why I am equating the line integration of magnetic field intensity to the enclosing current. So now it is satisfied. The mathematically now here you should write upon the mathematical expression like this. Mathematically it can be expressed as line integration of h bar dot dl bar is equal to I enclosed. This is the statement of Ampere's statement and explanation of Ampere's circuit law. Now we will see the proof here. So I want to prove the Ampere's circuit law by taking or by considering one example. Proof of Ampere's circuit law. So to prove this Ampere's circuit law, take a infinitely long straight conductor. Infinitely long straight conductor. So example is, just take a infinitely long straight conductor. Okay. Now see, it is already proved the magnetic field intensity due to infinite long straight conductor is already known to you. So but by considering the magnetic field intensity due to long straight infinitely long conductor, so it is already known value. What is the magnetic field intensity due to long straight conductor? It is h bar is equal to I by 2 pi r into A5 bar. This is the field intensity due to infinitely long straight conductor. This is your infinitely plus minus infinity to plus infinity. This is your infinitely long straight conductor. So whenever there is a current passing through the long straight infinitely conductor, okay, so what will happen here? Field produces around this conductor like this, Now, so we have calculated the magnetic field intensity at any point on the magnetic field line here. So if you consider it is a HP bar, and it is already known value that HP bar is the magnetic field intensity at point P, which is small r distance from the conductor, and it is perpendicular to the straight conductor. So, and the expression for the long straight conductor is I by 2 pi r into A5 bar. Field intensity is in this direction, so that's why it is represented with 5 bar. Okay. Now, see, to prove this Ampere's circuit law, for proof, just I am writing the expression of Ampere's circuit law. It is line integration of h bar dot dl bar equals to I enclosed. So See, here by considering left-handed turn, this is the left-handed side and it is right-handed side. Now see, I am taking left-handed side turn here. What is the left-handed side turn here? That is line integration of h bar dot dl bar is the left-handed side turn. So by taking left-handed side turn, I will show it as equal to the right-handed side turn. So that's why it is, hence it is proof. Okay, now we already know the h bar value. What about dl bar? It is a differential vector length. Okay, differential vector length. So as it is a closed path, so the differential vector length in the phi direction will be considered as or d phi a phi bar is the differential vector length in the cylindrical coordinate system. Okay, now in the next step, just do the dot product between h bar and dl bar. What is the dot product between h bar and dl bar? H bar is I by 2 pi or a phi bar dot or, see this is also or representation should be same in the derivation part, or d phi a phi bar. Okay, so now see, there is a constant terms here, or gets cancelled here, and the left term is I by 2 pi only, and the dot product between the same unit vectors is already known to you, that is 1. Okay, so now I by 2 pi is the left term, and we need to do the integration over this h bar and dl bar. What is the integration over h bar and dl bar? The circular integration or line integration is over it. Line integration is from I. Now say there is a d phi here, don't forget it, d phi. Okay, and limits of phi is from 0 to 2 pi. So hence I by 2 pi is a constant here, I by 2 pi is a constant here, and the integration over 0 to phi 1 with respect to d phi, it will become I by, which is equals to I by 2 phi 1 with respect to d, 1 with respect to phi, it is phi 0 to 2 pi, and I by 2 pi, upper limit is 2 pi, lower limit is 0, 2 pi is gets cancelled, and it is equals to I. It is the enclosing current, hence proof. So the right-handed term in the expression is I enclosed, and by taking the left-handed side term, I equate it to the I enclosed. Now hence proved, Ampere circuit law is proved. This is a very important question for your examination point of view. Okay, now, and there is a key point here. So all of you note down the key point here. The key point here is, see here, whenever I am proving the Ampere circuit law, I have taken a long straight conductor. Okay, for this long straight conductor, I take a closed path. Okay, this closed path is in a circular direction, as I already known to you. Why? Because for the straight conductor, the direction of magnetic field intensity is determined with the help of right hand thumb rule. So according to right hand thumb rule, you already know thumb direction of current, and curved finger shows the direction of magnetic field, and it is in a circular direction, circular path. So that's why here the circular path is called as Amperian path. So see, whenever you are taking Ampere circuit law, the Amperian path need not be a circular one. This may be a any shape, but that conductor should be enclosed by the Amperian path or closed path. Okay, now let us see the steps to apply Ampere circuit law. Now here we have some steps to apply Ampere circuit law for complex problems. What are the steps? Steps to apply Ampere circuit law. So all of you note down the steps here. Steps to apply Ampere's. Steps to apply Ampere's circuit law. Note down the first step. First step here is, consider a closed path, preferably symmetrical. Consider a closed path, preferably preferably symmetrical, preferably symmetrical, such that it encloses the direct current, such that it encloses such that it encloses the direct current I once, the direct current I once. Okay. Okay, visible it is? Yes. This is Amperian part. This is Amperian part. Amperian part. And what about second step? So once you select the closed path, okay na, that closed path should be encloses the direct current I. Okay, so the meaning of this first statement is, step 1 is, suppose if you take a straight conductor like this. Okay, so this conductor is carrying I current. Okay, in the statement consider a closed path. First step should be consider a closed path that should be symmetrical such that it encloses the direct current. That means, see, so for this conductor you select a closed path. That closed path may be in any shape. The closed path may be any shape, preferably symmetrical. Any shape, that need not be a circular. It should be any shape, but it should enclose the entire conductor. So now this path is encloses the entire conductor. So like that. Okay. What about second statement? Second step. Consider differential length dl bar. Consider differential length dl bar. Consider differential length dl bar depending upon the Cartesian, depending upon the coordinate system used. Depending upon coordinate system. Depending upon the coordinate system used. Okay. Now for this closed path, okay, for this closed path, second step is to consider a differential length like this. This is the differential length. Okay, and this should be depending upon the coordinate system used. Suppose if you take a Cartesian coordinate system, this differential length, vector length in the dx, dx bar plus dy, ay bar plus dz, az bar like that. So suppose if it is a cylindrical system, what is the differential vector length in the cylindrical system? Dl bar is equal to d rho a rho bar plus rho d phi a phi bar plus dz az bar like this. Okay. Now what about step number 3? Step number 3 is identify the symmetry and find. Step number 3 is identify the symmetry and find in which direction H bar exists. H bar exists according to the coordinate system used. According to the coordinate system used. Okay. Okay. Now see, identify the symmetry and find in which direction. Suppose see for this closed path, okay, as it is the straight conductor and the direction of H bar is in this direction. That means, so for this configuration, H bar is in the phi direction if you consider the cylindrical coordinate system. In the cylindrical coordinate system, there are unit vectors which are a rho bar, a phi bar and z bar. A rho bar is in this direction, a rho bar is in this direction, a phi bar is in this direction and a z bar is in this direction. So that's why, so the preferable coordinate system for this long straight conductor is cylindrical coordinate system for step number 2. And for H bar, identify the symmetry and find in which H bar is in which direction now. For step number 3, H bar is in the phi direction. So that's why you represent H with like this. Represent H with H bar is equal to H phi is the magnitude and A phi A bar is the what direction. Step number 3. For step number 4. Step number 4. Find H bar dot dl bar. Find H bar dot dl bar. The dot product between H bar and dl bar. And the last step is find the integral over H bar dot dl bar around the closed path assumed and equate it to I enclosed. Find the line integration of H bar dot dl bar and equate it to enclosed current. Now, if you keep in mind that all the 5 statements, then only you can apply the Ampere's circuital law for any configuration. Now, let us see the applications of Ampere's circuital law. So, there are different applications for the Ampere's circuital law. So, I will explain only one application here. So, you should able to apply the Ampere's circuital law for another configurations. So, see, I will explain the applications of Ampere's circuital law now. Applications of Ampere's circuital law. Applications of Ampere's circuital law. So let us apply the Ampere's circuital law for the following configurations. So that is H bar magnetic field intensity due to infinitely long straight conductor, first application. And these are all applications which are all asked in the last time examinations. H bar due to the coaxial cable, and third one is H bar due to the infinite sheet of current, H bar due to the infinite sheet of current, Last application is Ampere's circuital law applied to the small differential surface. Ampere's circuital law applied to small differential surface. So if you apply Ampere's circuital law for small differential surface, we get the curl expression. This is the derivation of curl. So if you apply small differential surface area, Ampere's circuital law to the small differential surface area, we get the curl expression. This is also called as point form of Ampere's circuital law. So also called as Ampere's circuital, very important one. Okay. Now I would like to explain about the application of Ampere's circuital law to the infinitely long straight conductor now. Okay. So to apply Ampere's circuital law, okay. So what are the steps we need to follow now? What is the first step number 1? It is already there on the board. So that's why I wrote the steps on the board. Consider a closed path. So before that, the heading is what? H bar due to infinitely long straight conductor. That means H bar is unknown value. We need to find out that value. So to calculate H bar, it is an unknown value. To calculate the H bar, consider a closed path, preferably symmetrical, such that it encloses the direct current. See, here there is a configuration like this. It is a long straight conductor and current passing through the conductor is steady current, that is I. Now what is the first number one? Step number one, consider a closed path. Closed path. So now I will consider a closed path circularly. This is my closed path around my long straight infinite conductor. Okay, step number. So that's why that current should be enclosed. See, this path encloses the direct current like this. See, this is your conductor and consider a closed path like this, so that this closed path encloses the direct current like this only. So this is now it is called as enclosing current. Okay, what is step number 3? Step number 2, consider differential length dl depending upon the Cartesian coordinate system. So I can imagine that this magnetic field is in the circular direction, so that's phi. So the differential length which is considered here is dl bar in the cylindrical coordinate system, that is r dr a phi bar. dl bar in the cylindrical coordinate system is r d phi a phi bar. Okay, so now for what purpose I have considered the cylindrical coordinate system only here? So as the field is assumed in the circular direction, so circular path is there in the only cylindrical coordinate system. So that's why I used cylindrical coordinate system instead of Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, what is step number 3? Identify the symmetry and find H. So H bar is also in which direction now? H bar is also in the phi direction. So it is represented with H phi and the direction is A phi. H phi is unknown value here. Now identify the symmetry is over. Now calculate the H bar dot dl bar here. What is H bar here? H bar is the unknown value. H bar is the unknown value. It consists of magnitude is H phi and direction is A phi. H bar is unknown value. So that is what we calculate now. So what is enclosing current? Current enclosed by the path is I enclosed is equals to, so if the current passing to the conductor is enclosing current is equal to I. Okay, now what is step number 4? Find the dot product between H bar and dl bar. Dl bar is already known, that is I wrote there, that is r d phi a phi bar. Okay, now do this is step number 1. Sorry, step number 1 is this one, and dl bar is step number 1 and it is step number 2, and step number 3 is to calculation of H bar dot dl bar. Now what is H bar here? H phi a phi bar dot dl bar is what here? R d phi a phi bar. Okay, so H phi is the constant here, R is the constant here, and d phi is also constant here, and the dot product between a phi bar and a phi bar is equals to 1. Now for calculation of dot product between H bar and d bar, the last step is do the line integration over H bar dot dl bar and equate it to I enclosed. So what is H bar dot dl bar here? It is H phi or d phi. The limits from 0 to 2 phi as it is a circular path. Okay, which is equals to I. H phi and R are the unknown, and 1 with respect to phi is equal to 0 to 2 phi, it is equals to I. So H phi R, it is 1 integration with respect to phi is phi, 0 to 2 phi is equals to I. Okay, so after substituting the limits H phi R, it is 2 phi, upper limit lower minus lower limit I. So H phi is the unknown value, which is H phi is equal to I by 2 pi R. So this is the unknown value, but we need a vector now. So from equation or from step 2, H bar is equal to, H phi is the unknown value, so I by 2 pi R into A phi bar ampere per meter is the magnetic field intensity due to infinitely long straight conductor, hence it is verified. Okay, now similarly do the application of Ampere circuit law to the infinite sheet of current and coaxial cable and point form of circuit law. Okay, thank you.